Hello everyone and welcome to Don't Be Bored. Today we're doing another top 5 list and going over games I think really use an app well. So let's dive into the list. As often there's an honourable mention and that goes to a Wingspan app, not one that helps you score or anything like that, but there's one called Wing Song. Now this allows you to actually hover over the cards and actually play the bird noises, which is just a cool little thing that I didn't think I ever needed or ever wanted, but after giving it a go it was quite cool. And to be honest, most of the time when I play Wingspan I'll actually boot that app up and sort of give it a go. It's just sort of adds a little extra to what is a fantastic game of Wingspan, hearing the actual bird noises. Now into the actual list. At number 5 is Ready, Set, Bet. Now this is a game that you can use an app, though you really don't have to. Personally, I actually really enjoy rolling the dice and moving the horses, but sometimes when you've got not many players, or, well, you want to get in the betting action as well, and you don't want to use sort of the slightly fudged house betting rules, well, I like just booting up the app and hitting random race, and the app then runs the actual horse racing part for you. You can run it so no one knows what's going to be happening, no one's having to sit almost as a games master and run the horse race, and everyone gets to bid and bet. What makes it really cool is it's got like those sound effects and the commentary, so it's sort of shouting at you what's happening in the race. And, well, actually, if you're normally the person rolling the dice, give that a listen for a race, and then it might give you ideas of things that you could shout out, like, oh, number 3 is finally out of the blocks, number 2 has taken the lead, and all those sort of things, you know. Other things are a bit more interesting than just those. The app's pretty cool, and I like the fact it means that you can play the game in 2 ways. Number 4 is a fast, frantic game called Fuse. In this you are cooperatively trying to utilise dice that come out of a bag to put onto these fuse cards. Now maybe your card needs a green, a yellow and a number 1, and there's a yellow dice there, but someone else is like, no, that yellow is a 4, the 4 is the only number I can use, otherwise I can't use anything this round. And that would mean everyone might have to get rid of a dice from their cards, and you're trying to fill these cards and finish the fuses before the very sort of ominous timer that is ticking down is going. So the app runs this timer. You could just use a normal timer, but this brings tension to the game. It sort of shouts at you when you're halfway, like, we need to hurry up, and it gets you really sort of invested that little bit more, and just adds to the tension that, well, the app, without that app, the tension would still be there from a ticking down timer, but you can hear it ticking down, it giving updates of not much time left to go. It just seems to sort of speed your heart rate up a little bit more than I think the game would otherwise. So that is the app in Fuse. Number 3 is a game that you could only really play through once, but there's many different versions and expansions, and this is Chronicles of Crime, that you could extend it to the different aged series. You could, you know, there's loads of different expansions and versions of this. So a lot of the time you're scanning QR codes to talk about to this person at this location about this item that you found, and you're scanning them to make that the app know that that's what you're talking about, and then you'll maybe hear them from the app or read the text that comes out of it, which is quite cool. That part sort of, it can get a little bit much as you're doing a lot of scanning of QR codes, and then there's the 3D scenes. So it's like you go to like the murder scene and you lift the phone up and you actually look around it, and that's so cool. It's just, it brings that scene to life, and, well, you know, one of these sort of games does something a bit different like that, it does stand out, and this app usage does make Chronicles of Crime stand out. Like I said, because it's one of those narrative-y, escape roomy style sort of things, you're not going to be playing through multiple times. You do need to go on to a new case, but might reuse the cards. So this time when I'm scanning this person, last time maybe they were a servant in this house, this time they are a pub owner or something like that. And it just means that with the same cards, they can tell multiple stories, but you also get these cool scenes that you can actually look around. So I really like that, and the way it kind of does drive the experience is cool, and it's just how it does it in Chronicles of Crime. The parts of it, a lot of the scanning, not great, but some of the other parts really bring the game to life. Number 2 is a game that I don't actually have in the collection anymore, but the app really is cool, and that is Stop Thief from Restoration Games. Now, this app drives a hell of a cool experience as you listening to it to make it makes some sounds. So let's say the person that you're after, this fugitive, is walking inside. Well, the app then plays some footsteps, so you know they've walked from an inside location to an inside location. The next sort of turn the fugitive makes, you hear a door creaking open, so you know, right, they've gone from inside to an inside, now they've gone through a door. Next, you're hearing like the hustle and bustle of a street, so you know from the board, like they were inside, then they were inside, they went through a door, then they're outside on the street. And you're slowly utilising this sort of chain of sounds to deduce where they could be, and you've got to get there before any of the other players to sort of capture that fugitive and get the reward for doing so. You get penalised for, you know, going to the wrong place and trying to arrest them and different things like that. So you don't want to do it too early, but you do want to beat the others. So that's a really cool thing, as you're maybe thinking, I think they're over here. But if I move my character too close to them too quickly, everyone else is going to start looking at this building as well. And it's just the way the app uses those sounds to sort of generate a randomised fugitive where they start and then moving around. Yeah, you could probably do this in some way with a games master, but that app just makes it a really interestingly different experience, and that's Stop Thief. And at number 1, a bit like with Chronicles of Crime, Unlock is a game that really utilises an app, but in fantastic escape roomy ways. It means not only are you looking at a timer that's sort of ticking down, you have the options to have some hints and stuff like that. That's all great, but what really makes the game of Unlock stand out is the fact that it uses it for machines. Machines, so maybe a padlock that you're putting a code into. So from the cards you've deduced a code, you put it into the app, and then it goes, yep, you've opened that padlock, take this card, and then maybe it's like that trunk that was padlocked, it's now open and you can have a look in and hopefully get some items that will help you progress a bit of the escape room. Or maybe it's dials that you've got to turn on the app. You couldn't have really done that with cards. You'd have had to have a special component just for that one. So it means that even throughout just one experience, it can have a variety of different things, like puzzle styles. Throw in the fact that the app is also utilised quite often, well, not too often, but relatively often, for a bit of like AR, where you hover, maybe you've got a camera item and you can utilise that in the app to hover over a card and take a picture, and when it's developing it gives you a hint towards something, maybe a number that you couldn't see just on the card itself because of the augmented reality photo that you've just taken. It pops something off, or lightning strikes, and you can see that happening on the card as you're hovering the phone over it. Just little things like that that bring the cards to life, change up the puzzles, and mean, well, you're always utilising the cards, maybe one extra component, and that app just adds variety straight into the mix and allows all of that escape room goodness to actually happen. And to be honest, I think Unlock is probably our favourite of the escape room series because of that, because they're relatively, not simple, but they're nice easy ones that you can sit down and play without any sort of previous knowledge and just dive into those puzzles for that hour. Lots of fun, and I think the app does a really great job of driving the experience. But let me know in the comment section below, what game have I forgotten? I've not played like Destinies, which I've heard has got a great app and stuff like that, but what game would you say has a fantastic app that allows maybe the game just to work, or just really builds upon what would be a good experience and turns it into a great one. If you like apps, what is your favourite? And if you don't like apps, well, let me know also in the comment section below. And until next time, have a appy good day.